So let's try some problems from calculus. We have sine, arc cosine of 3x, and x has to be between 0 and 1/3. So one way to do this, let's say let u equals arc cosine of 3x. And then, so this is cosine of u equals 3x. And I'm going to say over 1 just so we remember. Cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse. So we can draw a triangle. And so adjacent is 3x, and our hypotenuse is 1. Now we're trying to find the sine, so we know we're trying to find this value here. So I'm going to call that, let's just call that a for now. Or we could call it y. Let's call it y. And so let's figure out what that is here. So we have 1 squared equals 3x squared plus y squared. So this is 1 minus 9x squared equals y squared, and you square root both sides. So this y value equals square root of 1 minus 9x squared. So this y value is square root of 1 minus 9x squared. So we're trying to find sine. So it's very similar to the other problems we did before. We just have expressions now. So to find the sine, that is opposite over hypotenuse. So the opposite is square root of 1 minus 9x squared all over the hypotenuse of 1. So on this, we don't have to write the denominator, so we could just say that the answer is square root of 1 minus 9x squared. So the book may ask you to do restrictions, and it's good to know what your restrictions are in this case. And to solve for that, remember that the square root has to be greater than or equal to 0, can be equal to because it's in the numerator. So we can solve, subtract 1. We get negative 9x squared is greater than or equal to negative 1. Divide by negative 9, that flips the inequality. So x squared must be less than or equal to 1 over 9. Then we square root, and we see that x has to be less than or equal to 1/3. 1/3, and then so then we know that it actually can't go beyond 0. So that's our restriction here. If you tried to plug in a number less than 0, you'd see that it wouldn't work, because in this negative 9, then it would just go to the negative, and you're not allowed to have that in a square root. So let's try one more. Cotangent of arc cosine of 3x, and x is between 0 and 1/3. So we're going to let u equal arc cosine of 3x. That means cosine u equals 3x. And then remember, it's over 1. So cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse. So we'll draw our triangle. And this is theta, so 3x is adjacent, hypotenuse is 1. We're trying to find the cotangent. Cotangent is the x over y, so that is adjacent over the opposite. And so we're really trying to find that value there. And we did find that already, so in this case we already know the answer because it's the same as the other one. So I'm going to go ahead and write that as y is equal to 1 minus 9x squared. We solved for it previously. I hope you see that it's the same exact triangle. Then we're looking for cotangent. So adjacent is 3x, and that's over the opposite, which is square root of 1 minus 9x squared. Now, you could rationalize the denominator by multiplying it, but I'm okay with leaving it like this. The book left it like that, so I'm going to leave it as it is. Now, in this case, x has to be between 0 and 1/3 again. Okay, so that is the answer for this example here. So go ahead and try this one at the bottom. Write an algebraic expression that is equivalent to secant arctangent of x. Okay, if you tried this out, you would have gotten square root of x squared plus 1. There is no restrictions because whatever you plug in here, it'll be positive, so that'll work out. And I hope this helps.